Hey everyone, it's the Miserable Movie Man back once again with another video. So the first 3 episodes of Andor dropped last week. I just finished watching them. I know there's been a lot of reviews already out there, but wanted to give my thoughts. Folks who know this channel, or at least have seen some of my videos before, probably aware that I was not a fan of Andor Season 1. I mean, I call it Andor, to be honest. I found Season 1 to be slow-paced, a bit ridiculous, far too many things that were silly or just didn't land for me, as well as so many minutiae of real world, our world examples sort of just crossing over into Star Wars life, and that suspension of disbelief is gone for me, at least in Andor Season 1. But Season 2 is coming out. I thought I'd give it a chance. I'll give it a try and keep an open mind and watch it and see how it is. And after finishing the first 3 episodes, I honestly have to say, it's even worse. It's even worse than Season 1. I was hoping it would be better. Most people who think Season 1 is amazing will probably say that having an incredible second season is pretty tough and rare for a show. And of course, we're only 3 episodes in, so maybe it'll pick up things in a stronger and better fashion later on. I did like Luthen a lot in Season 1. I thought he was one of the shining lights and one of the few things that I really enjoyed about Season 1. But Season 2, oh my gosh, where do I start? I'm going to start with the first part of the first episode, where Andor is stealing some experimental TIE fighter that I've never seen before. But in it, he sneaks in, he's some pilot, it's all the mystery and intrigue. And then when he tries to fly it, we get the scene from Iron Man 1 where he's just banging into walls and doesn't know what he's doing and almost dies several times. I get that they're trying to show that this is real life. I get that maybe they thought the incompetence might be funny. But honestly, it just felt really cringy. And then he flies out and, we get the 3 story threads that are going to be interlinked and intertwined later on. We've got Bix on some harvest planet trying to evade capture. We have Mon Mothma about to give her daughter away in marriage, and we have Cassian who's stealing a TIE fighter and trying to bring it back somehow, for whatever reason that is. And he crash lands on a planet. And there's going to be spoilers in the video. Later on we find out that planet is going to be Yavin 4. And he encounters the most incompetent, moronic, idiotic bunch of they're not rebels, they're some gang of some kind that just full of buffoons who not only hate each other and fight internally, but just act and sound really, really stupid. And it takes 2 episodes of just Andor being with them and then figuring out that the person he was supposed to meet is not there and they've maybe done away with him, and the leader of this gang, Maya, is gone. She was someone famous apparently, and then they have a fight between themselves and they get attacked by a creature there, and then he escapes and flies the TIE fighter out. Now, honestly, if you look at this from a plot perspective, were they just trying to fill time? Was this like a filler episode just so that you could have the surprise of, oh look, he's on Yavin 4, which is one of the moons of Yavin 4, I should say. It's not on Yavin 4. That's the sort of link to the original trilogy that you think, oh, that's cool, but did he have to go through the stupidity of all that to begin with? And what was the point of these rebels? They're going to go back there and these guys are going to join the rebellion? These buffoons? These nincompoops? Anyway, that really was, I would say, same level of cringe as him messing around with the TIE fighter. Then you have the plot of Bix and the kid and the Brasso on some harvest planet. And really, they're just trying to do stuff and contact Cassian and evade capture. And of course, there's an Imperial audit that's going on. I am an ex-auditor, and I will tell you that I think in almost every case, the staff involved in an audit do not try and sleep with the people they're auditing. But of course, this Imperial guy has got a thing for Bix, as several folks have shown to have in the show. And he can't control himself, so he's obviously trying to get some favours from her, and it leads to a confrontation and things go south. Again, I get people are on the run and I get you trying to ratchet up tension, but was this the best way to do it? I mean, maybe they could have been investigated by the ISB having a lead on them or something, I don't know. It just felt like they were just clutching at straws. And Mon Mothma, who is, I guess, trying to run the rebellion in the background, doing her own sort of plotting and machinations while under the watchful eye of folks that can sell her out at any minute. Luthen is there, and Luthen is eminently watchable. I mean, I think Mon Mothma is a good character, up to a point. But there is a lot of info about Chandrilan customs, and people are saying Tima all the time, with a bit of a Cockney accent. Tima Samud, Tima. It just sounds ridiculous. If you're going to speak alien with an accent that kind of convinces me you're not from the East End. It is ridiculous when they say this stuff. But, I mean, I like the costumes and the visuals. The visuals there were great. I like seeing Chandrila the way it was. But so much characterization put into her fears and, what was happening with her daughter and how she might be sold out, and Luthen being scared. And then at the end she's like, screw it, I'm going to get drunk and dance to some crazy EDM music. And there's going to be at least a 3 or 4 minute montage of me going nuts dancing while, scary and exciting events are happening elsewhere. And they're going to intercut it to make it look as if, look at the way that we cut the tension between the scenes. Look at the way that we change the atmosphere between the scenes. We got, EDM, drunken dancing, people running away from the Imperials in a harvest planet, running through corn. And then Cassian flying back, trying to figure out where he is. And a little bit of a battle, and of course Brasso's going to die. That one stormtrooper who is... I mean, when Brasso ran away, he's literally a few feet away from the stormtroopers. They can't hit him. Then he's running, jumps on speed and zooms away, which is, he should be nowhere near them. They're still firing at him. And there's the one stormtrooper who walks forwards and hasn't even fired yet. He's not firing randomly and indiscriminately. Because, what is he, some kind of high-end Robin Hood level sharpshooter? And he's the one that hasn't fired, and he takes his one shot, and then we don't see anything. What could happen with that one shot? Do we really know? Of course it's going to kill him, and he's going to look like, oh, look, we lost some people. Oh, dear, let me really get sad and care about these people that I don't really care about, with a stormtrooper that really should be promoted, having that level of shooting ability compared to every other stormtrooper in the Imperial Army. Ridiculous, quite frankly, stupid and ridiculous to me. So, those are some of the stupidity and ridiculous levels of it. But it is even worse. It's even worse than that. When you see Cyril and Deidre together, I mean, okay, fine. I don't want to see their life. I don't want to see what clothes she's trying on. I don't want to see a flat that looks exactly like something that we would have on this planet. Down to the cutlery, the fondue, everything else, the bed. I don't want to see her wearing clothes that look exactly how we would have it on this planet. This is Star Wars, for God's sake. Everything should be different and elaborate and just off-Earth feel enough that I think we're in another universe or another place or a galaxy far, far away. But no, the food, the plates, the cutlery, the clothes, the wardrobes, the utensils, everything was designed to make it look like a flat or an abode in our time. And again, I just don't need to see. At least when the ISB was meeting and you had Krennic there, it was a beautiful vista, and the setup was geared towards trying to give you some of that feel, at least at the table when Vader and Tarkin are talking in the Death Star in A New Hope. But even that first shot where you see the tables that are in Cyril's place and they're hexagons with the stools around them. I mean, if you go to Singapore, you go to the food courts, that's exactly how the tables are. That shape, those seats. Singaporeans will be looking at it going, oh, those have been taken from our food court. And the food and cutlery and everything just was. I don't want to see this. I don't want to see her trying on outfits and smiling. I don't want to see her wearing a shirt that looks like she could have bought it at Next. I don't want to see them wearing trousers that looks like she's going to a corporate gig in Wall Street or something. I don't want to see Cyril being useless, but just wearing stuff and confronting his mum in the way that she was. It's getting so real life, so much minutiae, so supposedly character driven, that I'm just not there. I'm not there in the Star Wars universe. I'm just not there. I'm not enjoying it. I don't care. This thing is just... I fell asleep quite a few times in episode 3. And I woke up and nothing much else was going on. They're still dancing. They're still trying to run a little bit. Cassian's still trying to figure out where he is. I'm trying to get home. And speaking of which, again... So this is going to sound a bit like a moral rant. But if you made it this far, I just want to say something. The whole point of Star Wars to me is this is a galaxy far, far away. These are people and technology and things that we've never seen before. We don't understand. We don't need to understand. If you know your history of Star Wars, you should know that when Harrison Ford got inside the cockpit of the Millennium Falcon for the first time, he asked George, how does it fly? How do you fly this thing? And George Lucas didn't know. He didn't have a clue. They just built stuff and they wanted it to look cool and they didn't want to explain it. And that was enough for me. I mean, the doors open and close with a swish, and there must be some technology that makes it look really cool. People can travel faster than light and go into hyperspace. There must be some technology that makes that cool. They can have lightsabers and energy weapons. There must be technology that makes it cool. They can flip ships upside down, and they don't seem to be, hanging by their feet. There must be some technology to make that cool, right? I don't really want to see a Star Wars universe where they're saying, oh, we need to get on the radio. I need to listen out for the frequencies. I need to plug some connectors into these holes that look exactly like you would do in a regular radio. I need to turn some dials and then do this and do that. And if I don't hear the radio, across the universe, then that means I'm not got a strong enough radio. I need to go back and to go to the, hardcore radio that's in my shop. This type of stuff, I don't know, is it there for tension? Is it there for characterization? Is it there for adding additional details on how the universe works? We never needed to see it. Not just in the original trilogy, but the prequels. We never needed to know. I mean, okay, fair enough. You want to know how a lightsaber works and you get kyber crystals, I get it, right? But you don't need to see everything else. You don't need to talk about radio frequencies and, how you need to boost signals and things. It's just, again, it's too much like our world, for Christ's sakes. It's just, my suspension of disbelief is gone. Gone. I would have thought they would have had a better way of communicating than going back to radio, or maybe they're doing it because they're going analog when everything is digital. I mean, we watched Zero Day, I think, or Zero Day with Robert De Niro, and there was a bit where people are communicating using old radio UHF frequencies because everything's being monitored now, so they went analog. Is that the reason why they're doing it in Star Wars? I don't know. I can't even remember in season 1 if they explained it. But it's too much. It's too much detail, too much in my face that this is not Star Wars. This is not the Star Wars world that I remember. Nice to see Coruscant, but if you look at Coruscant when Lucas was doing it, even in the Clone Wars, it looks sufficiently different. Like, again, nothing we'd ever seen before. Yeah, you had bars and you had dwellings and abodes. There was that one bit of cutlery, I think, when they were trying to eat that apple thing that Anakin used the Force to peel for Padme. But you didn't spend enough time on these things such that they became so in your face to be something you just can't get out of your head or can't not focus on. And that's the issue for me. There's just too much of this stuff so that every time they do it, it's repeatedly reinforced to me that wait, huh? No, this is our world. This is what we do. This is how we would do it. There's really no, at least to me, no thought, energy, or effort put in to say, how will we make it different? I mean, all of the farmers are wearing denim, for Christ's sake. It's just, they're wearing denim, and they're wearing boots, and they're wearing dungarees and overalls and braces. God, please, just, the farmers on Tatooine were at least wearing robes, a little bit different enough. Even the suits they made for the X-Wing pilots were different enough that they weren't like anything we'd seen before. Have they just given up? Has the creativity all been sucked out just in terms of, I need to write character dialogue now, so I'm not going to spend any energy in making this look like a Star Wars universe? Or maybe it's just me. Maybe I'm being too picky. Maybe I'm being too pedantic. Maybe I'm getting too old, too jaded, too nostalgic. But it was poor. It did not grab me. And as I said, sadly, for me, Season 2, 3 episodes in, is already way worse than Season 1. Way worse. But hey, that's just me. It's still got, I think, the highest rating on Rotten Tomatoes. Sadly for me, Andor is the highest rated Star Wars product in Star Wars history. More than the original trilogy, more than the prequels, more than the Clone Wars, based on, critical and Rotten Tomato acclaim. It's pants for me. It's absolute pants. Andor, Tony Gilroy is a good writer in most things he does. I think he just got a bit carried away with himself in this one. And maybe there'll be some cool stuff later on. Maybe the tension will ratchet itself up, and maybe, things will build to a head later on. But please, let's not have another heist like we did in the first season, which took 4 days of walking and complaining to get to a heist where everyone's stupidly shooting and can't hit anything. And they don't steal anything because they bloody screw everything up. I want adventure. I want escapism. I want a galaxy far, far away filled with wonders and things I've never seen before. I don't want some version of, the Housewives of Beverly Hills meet some reality show, meet some, farming show, meet some survival show. There's too many of those already on TV, and they've mashed all those up and come up with Andor. So yeah, there you go. Bit of a long rant, but I feel it warrants it, based on how much people love Season 1 and how much people were saying to me they're going to love Season 2. I'm probably in the minority again, but as I said, always happy to share my opinion. So let me know what you think in the comments below. Do you agree, disagree? Have I picked out some things that you noticed yourself? Have I missed stuff that I should have picked up on? Let me know. As usual, please like, share, subscribe to help support the channel, and catch you next time.